cannot go man hunting when you're desperate because you put anything in the cart. That's why you never hear a man saying, I'm decentering women. It's because they've never centered women in the first place. To decenter marriage simply means you remove it from the center of your life. Girls are socialized from a young age to see marriage as their highest calling. But if you decide to bring marriage to the center where God is supposed to be, that brings your life in chaos. When you say, oh, any man is a man, as long as I get the ring, your standards are going to be down to earth. No, Matthew 6:33 says to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will be added unto you. It didn't say seek ye first marriage. With or without marriage, you are whole as a person. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Dear Single Christian Girl podcast with me, KB. If this is your first time seeing me, hey girl, welcome to the family. I promise you're gonna love it here. So find a space in the house and drop your bags and be comfortable, okay? And if you're my returning viewer, hey, welcome. I'm glad to be hanging out with you again today. This is a space where we learn, we grow, we glow, we become better versions of ourselves, one day at a time and one episode at a time. So stay tuned because we'll be getting into something really important today. If somebody comes and tells you that you will never get married, how are you going to feel? Genuinely sit with that question for a moment. Are you going to feel normal? Are you going to feel distressed? Are you going to feel like, oh well, life continues? Or are you going to feel like your whole world has lost its meaning? Because the way you answer that will tell if marriage is a desire in your life or an idol. Before you close this episode or you say, what is KB saying? I'm not trying to say I don't want you to get married. In fact, I want you to get married. I want you to find your person. I want you to be loved like you deserve to be loved. But we have to have an honest conversation about what happens when a beautiful God-given desire slowly becomes the centerpiece of your existence, because that is a problem. That is not normal, okay? So here's what sparked this conversation. I'm randomly scrolling on TikTok and chilling and minding my business, and I see this woman who came to share her story. She was sharing the story and in hindsight, really laughing at herself and calling herself a clown, laughing at her own stupidity and all of that. But the story was this. So when she was almost turning 25, so she was like 24 plus and living her life. She was a pastor. She had a prayer group. She was teaching people online about God. She was doing other things, even planning to travel. And she had a prayer group, her and other friends, that she was like the leader of the prayer group. And all they prayed about in that group, as a 24-year-old turning 25, all they prayed about was about marriage. When are we going to get married? God, bring our husbands and stuff. Then this man comes along, a rich man who was older, way older, like the man could actually father her, and wants to marry her. She accepts because of course she had centered marriage and that was all she was looking forward to. She halted her life, halted her travel plans, put everything on hold, and decides to go on with making arrangements to marry this man that she barely knew. She was ignoring all the red flags, ignoring his controlling behavior, ignoring the misaligned values. Girl, she even planned her own surprise engagement. Like somebody comes and says he wants to marry you all of a sudden, and he's the one sending you again to plan your own surprise engagement. I'm like, where is the thrill in that? Where is the surprise in that I'm the one you send money and I have to plan the whole thing again? How am I gonna be surprised? Oh my God. Like, she planned her own surprise engagement. And you know why the girl didn't finally marry this man? This is what saved her. Let me shock you. This is the only thing that saved her from marrying that man. The man said he is a traditional man and does not believe in doing a court wedding. And to her, it was really important to do a court wedding. So she was like, maybe he's been married before, he's really old, maybe he's hiding something. I started to dig in and out of that. And of course, she found things. She didn't go into details of that, but she found things. And that was the only reason why she didn't end up marrying that man. Imagine all of the red flags. She was willing to go on with it, except for the fact that he said he wasn't willing to do a court wedding. And the The story was not my problem. My issue was that this woman was a pastor. Oh my God. This woman was a pastor. This was the place that got me crying. Because as you are a pastor, the truth is that there are other girls who will be coming up to you with their issues, coming up to you for pieces of advice. And if you center marriage like that, if as a pastor you still not had a self-awareness to know that life is worth more than just marriage, then there is a problem. There is a big problem. So that is why today we are going to be talking about why it is important as Christian girls or as Christian women to decenter marriage. Not saying you should hate men, not saying you should hate marriage, to decenter marriage, right? So we are going to be going into the details of that. We'll first get into what it means to decenter marriage, because TikTok has done its number on that, and people are saying whatever they think it is, using decenter as a synonym for hating men, or I don't want men, I'm on board, and men are trash. No, that's not what decenter actually means. So we are going to define what decenter actually means, talk about why it's important to decenter marriage, and talk about how you can do that practically, right? So stay tuned and let's get into it. And this is the point where you can easily just share this video with someone, send it to your friend group, send it to your WhatsApp chat, send it to that girl that you know that has centered marriage, or send it to that girl that you know that is a Christian babe and you just want her to have the right information. So let's get into it. If you've spent any time on TikTok or on Instagram the past few months or lately, you know that to decenter men has been used by girls and women as a synonym to men are trash, men are scum, I don't need a man, I don't want a man in my life. And while unboarded energy has its place and all of that, that is not what decenter actually means. So what does decenter mean? To decenter something means to remove it from the center, or to remove it from the focus or priority, or to stop organizing your life or your decisions or your identity and worth around a single thing. So basically that's it. So decenter marriage does not mean you hate marriage, you do not want a man, or you do not have the desire to marriage. To decenter marriage simply means you remove it from the center of your life. That's not all your existence is about. That is not all that makes you whole. That you realize that that's a healthy desire, but your life does not revolve around whether you are married or not. So decentering marriage doesn't mean to become bitter or closed off. It simply means marriage is no longer the axis that your whole world spins around. Psychologists who study attachment and identity formation have talked about something called enmeshment, and I'll read what it means to you. So enmeshment is a situation where a person's self becomes so fused with one goal, relationship, or outcome that they lose their ability to function healthily without it. So when marriage becomes your identity, or when marriage becomes something that your entire self-worth, your entire life, your entire happiness hinges on, that is emotional and spiritual enmeshment, and that is not even healthy at all. To hinge your happiness on something that is not even within your control. Think of it like this: the solar system, right? The planets orbit the sun. All the 9 planets, they orbit the sun. The sun is the center, and everything else flows around it, and everything goes normally and all of that. But say one planet decides that I don't want to orbit the sun, I want to orbit another planet. It's going to turn everything upside down into gravitational chaos. Like, things will not function properly as they should. We don't even know if we're going to have night and day anymore. We don't know, because one planet has decided to orbit another one instead of orbiting the sun. That is the same thing with your life and marriage. The center of your life is supposed to be God, and every other thing, every other desire, your career, your marriage, your ministry, your purpose, every other thing is supposed to orbit around God graciously, and everything functions properly. But if you decide to bring marriage to the center where God is supposed to be, and orbit every other thing around it, that brings your life in chaos. It's not supposed to be like that, okay? Everything is supposed to revolve around God and not around marriage, something that is not even in your control. Because when you start centering everything around marriage, your decisions, your future, your happiness, your joy, everything gets distorted, right? So decentering marriage, like we can see, it does not mean you hate marriage. It doesn't mean you don't want to get married anymore. You should want to get married if that's one of your desires. desires, and definitely you will get married, right? But it just means that you have come to a place where you say, with or without marriage, you are whole as a person. So where did this marriage-centered programming come from? Sociologists who study gender and religions have consistently found that religious communities, particularly Christian ones, tend to place disproportionate emphasis on marriage and family as primary markers of a woman's success and fulfillment. Girls are socialized from a young age to see marriage as their highest calling. Meanwhile, boys in those same spaces are socialized to see their callings in terms of purpose, provision, and legacy, with marriage as one of the components, not the entire picture. A 2020 study of an evangelical Christian women found that many reported feeling significant anxiety around their marital status by the mid-20s, not because of personal desire alone, but because of cultural and community messaging that equated being unmarried with being incomplete or spiritually lacking. Think of it like this: from the time we were little girls and growing up in the church, in our communities, in the culture, especially in African cultures and all of that, we most times everything as a little girl that you're doing, they are linking it to your husband or your future marriage. We are being grown up to just look forward to marriage. They're like, oh, don't behave like that. Men, how will you be behaving in your husband's house? Men don't like women who behave like that. You have to be gentle. You have to act like a woman so that you can be able to get married and be able to raise your kids properly. Everything centered around marriage. Even the testimonies that we see shared in church, when people are sharing testimonies about other things, it's not that loud. But when there's a testimony about marriage, it's so loud that everybody just like, it's so loud that automatically you just begin to feel like this is the most important thing that could happen to you. That's why most Christian women grow up to center marriage so much, not just because they wanted it, but because the culture, the religion, our churches have made us feel like when you're at a certain age and you're not married, it's a problem. That's why they have made us to place marriage at the center, and we don't even care about any other thing in our lives because of that. Nobody sat little KB down and told her that you are gifted, you're called, you have a purpose that only you can fulfill. You have a mission here on earth and you should walk towards that. But all that we heard, both by words and just by observation, is that marriage is the most important thing. Marriage is what completes you as a woman. So we now engraved that marriage-centered mentality, even when we could not have the choice to know what we are putting in our minds or whatever. But now that you are grown, it is in your position to unlearn that and relearn that marriage is just the icing on the cake. That marriage is not the whole cake. That marriage is just like the cherry on the top of the ice cream sundae. And what amazes me is that when God first talked about marriage in the Bible in Genesis 2:18, it was brought up as God's suggestion to a man. It was like, it's not good for a man to be alone. I'll make him a suitable helper. So it was first for the man. But you see, it's crazy that men who God initiated marriage for them, they do not center marriage like that. They did not get the memo that they're supposed to center marriage. That's why you never hear a man saying, I'm decentering women, I'm decentering women, I'm decentering women. It's because they've never centered women in the first place. They want to get married, yes. They want to have women in their lives, yes. But have they made it the entire focus or the only thing they're looking forward to in life? No. The average man does not sit and dream about their wedding day all their lives or all growing up. No. They dream about things they want to become, things they want to build in the future. But the average woman dreams about her wedding day all her life and does not even dream about the things that have been put in her, the gifts, the purpose, the dreams like that. That is the problem. That is a problem. And it's not your fault. Honestly, it's not our fault. It's how culture and religion has raised us. But now that we are grown, it is up to you to decenter marriage, to say, like I've said before, to understand that with or without marriage, you are whole as a person. You have an assignment here. So what does centering marriage cost you? Research on goal obsession, specifically what psychologists call tunnel vision, around a single life outcome shows that when people become significantly fixated on one goal, they experience reduced cognitive flexibility, increased anxiety, and a phenomenon called identity foreclosure, where a person stops exploring who they are and commits prematurely to an identity built around one outcome. In plain language, you stop growing. You stop growing because all your focus is fixated on one single goal. You stop exploring, you stop becoming, because all your energy is funneled into one thing. Let me paint a picture. Imagine two women, 26, both of them 26 in age. One of them has centered marriage and she feels incomplete without marriage. She has decided to put her life on hold because all she's looking forward to in her life is on marriage. She's not living in purpose. She's not living on purpose. She's not growing. She's not studying. She doesn't even know who she is because she feels incomplete without a man. She is just there sobbing every day. Oh God, when? God, when? Let me laugh a bit. God, where's my husband? All she prays about is marriage. All she cares about is marriage. She's not taking her career seriously, her finances seriously. She does not even take herself on dates. She does not take self-care seriously because she's waiting to start living when she finds a man. And then there is woman B, who actually loves to get married. She loves love. She has that desire to find her person, but she has not centered marriage. She has decentered marriage and she's living her life. She has found her purpose. She's pursuing it. She's thriving. She's growing. She's becoming a better person every day. Takes care of herself. Takes herself to solo dates. Takes care of herself, lives life, is happy, is whole, is joyful, that even the joy in her life radiates on her face. Which of these people do you think is even easier for them to attract the right partner? Which of these people is going to get into marriage whole, is going to get into marriage with the right person because they are going to have a clear vision to not be able to ignore red flags, to be able to pick right and all of that? Definitely will be person B. Because person A has idolized marriage and that's all they look forward to. They are going to ignore the red flags. They are going to ignore everything. They are going to pick any man that is interested in them. The other day, my friend asked me something that he had asked someone, right? That she had asked the person that, are you trying to get married to this person just because he's interested in you and he wants to marry you, or he's actually the kind of man you want to marry? And that's what happens when you've centered marriage. As soon as somebody shows interest and they want to marry you, boom, you're gone. You don't even care if there's somebody who is compatible with you. You don't even care if there's somebody who can make you grow, become better. You don't care. When you've centered marriage, you're going to marry wrong. But that's not the only cause. It costs you your peace. It costs you your joy. It costs you your identity. It costs you fullness of life that you could be living right now. Because I heard somebody say one time that she does not know how to do things alone by herself, that if she's not going with a boyfriend or going with friends. I'm like, are you okay? So you cannot take yourself to a restaurant and eat because you don't have somebody to go with? I'm like, you do not know this. I actually heard Courtney say one time on her channel, I think it's her channel or her podcast, one of them, she said that she actually had made herself a promise that she was going to live her life to the fullest as a single person, right? That she made a bucket list, put down things, all countries that she was going to travel to, and she traveled them as a single person, explore life, live life to the fullest as a single person, so that when she gets married, right, and she's actually married now, she's not going to get to a point that one day she begins to resent her husband or her kids because feeling that, oh, they stopped me from exploring my life, or they're stopping me from enjoying my life, they're stopping me from living full. Because the truth is that once you're married, you'll still be able to travel, of course, you still be able to do things with your partner and even do things alone, but there's extra commitment that you have sharing life with another person, especially when kids come in. You'll not have your single season again. You'll not have the freedom you have right now to just up and go. You'll not have the freedom you have right now to just make decisions and do things that you want to explore, the things that you want to explore. That's why even the Bible says that, even Paul says in the Bible that the married woman is concerned about pleasing her husband, right? But you as a single person, you can even devote yourself fully to pleasing God, to exploring things for yourself, enjoying life. But why is it that even while you're single, you're not taking advantage of that, but you are instead every day being bothered about marriage? How are you centering marriage in your mind when you're not married? Like, how? You're not leaving. And you need to decenter marriage so you can live a fulfilled and full life right now, right? Quickly before the video continues, today's virtual hug is for Sharon Berry. Thank you so much for being part of the Single Christian Girl community, for always watching, supporting, and engaging. I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you. Now back to the video. So what does it look like to practically decenter marriage? Number one, it looks like praying for more than marriage. Like, sis, use your prayer time to pray about other things. Not every day, God, where's my husband? God, bring my husband. God, connect me to my husband. God, send my husband. Hey, God, husband. Pray about other things. Pray about your career. Pray about your destiny. Pray about your business. Pray about your purpose. Some of you have not even found your purpose yet. Pray that God should guide your steps to find your purpose. Pray about your family. Pray for the country. Pray about every other thing. Give God your full life in prayer, not just one part of it. And this thing is not even a joke, because people make it like it's comedy on TikTok, like that they say, oh, when they say pray for your country, women are praying, thank you, Lord. Da, 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 da. When they say pray for marriage, that's when you bring all your energy. Only when they have said pray about marriage. But when they say pray about your career, pray about your job, you're just doing, yes, Lord. But when it's time to, put the same energy that you pray for marriage for in different areas of your life. It looks like enjoying your life right now. You're not going to say anymore that, oh, when I get married, I will do this. Oh, when I get married, I will do this. Oh, when I get married, I will do this. Oh, I'm waiting to try this with my husband. Oh, there's this new restaurant spot that I saw that I really like, but I want to try it with my husband. Stop putting your experiences on hold to quote unquote when I'm going to get married. Do things right now. Anything that you can afford to do right now, do. I am in fact starting a solo dating series soon, and I think I'm going to be posting it on YouTube, on my YouTube account, not this podcast. I'm going to be doing alphabet solo dating, like experiencing different things from A to Z, like all by myself. And also, if you're able to travel to other places, travel, even if it's just to go to another town, spend the weekend there, experience things there, live fully, try new things, use your opportunity that use your free will as a single to your advantage. To try new things. When you get married, your plate will be so full, you not even have the opportunity to live full. I'm telling you, this is me giving it to you as a challenge. Do things right now. Live your life. When was the last time you took yourself out on a date? When? You can't even remember, because you're only waiting for a man to come and take you on a date. Take yourself on a date. Sit with yourself. Eat your food. It also looks like investing in yourself, right? When you've decentered marriage, you're investing in yourself, not just because you're investing like, oh, so that a man can be more attracted to a more polished version of you, no, but as a way of pouring into yourself, as a way of self-love. Invest in your career, learn new skills, invest in your physical beauty, like work out, take care of yourself. Not, like I said again, not using getting a man as a motivation. No, take care of yourself just because you love you. Because truth is that even if you don't love you and show it out that you love you by investing in yourself, how do you even expect another person to love you? You know, the people who love that version of you that's just there waiting for a man, they are narcissists who are coming to just finish you completely, and who make it seem like they're doing you a favor being with you. So practically invest in yourself. Learn, read, become better, invest in your vocabulary, learn every day, be able to speak better, be able to take care of your skin, do your skin care, work out, eat healthy, and just be your best self. Invest in yourself. That's very important. And another thing It looks like holding your standards firmly. That's what it means to decenter marriage. Decenter marriage means holding your standards firmly. Because when your standards are loose, when you say, oh, any man is a man as long as I get the ring, your standards are going to be down to earth. If they've never told you before that your standards are too high, that you remain single, then I bet your standards are too low. I'm not gonna lie. If nobody has told you that your standards are too high, if no low value man, because it's usually from low value men that are just, nobody has told you yet that, oh, you're doing too much, your standards are too high, you might end up single and all of that, then your standards are really low. And if your standards are too low, it means you're desperate. You cannot go man hunting when you're desperate, because you put anything in the cart. You will not have any standards again. So you have to decenter marriage so that you can maintain a healthy standard. They're not saying put standards that are unreasonable. No, healthy standards, and standards that you two are able to bring on board. You cannot say you want a man who prays and you cannot pray. You cannot say you want a man who studies his word and you cannot study your word. You cannot say you want a man who is fit and you cannot walk to become fit. So right, you're going to maintain healthy standards if you've decentered marriage. But if not, you're going to pick any man. You're going to say man na man. Okay. It also looks like letting marriage be a beautiful addition, right? And not a rescue mission. Some of you think that a man is coming to rescue you. Some of you are secretly waiting for, when is my man going to come and rescue me from the shackles of single life? When is my man going to come and rescue me from the shackles of, when am I going to be whole? You are already whole. You're already loved. You are already, God thought you were to die for. You're already amazing as a person, okay? So marriage, you need to stop seeing marriage as a rescue mission and seeing marriage as a beautiful addition to a life that is already full, right? Like I mentioned before, marriage is the icing on the cake and not the full cake itself. The whole cake is you, your whole life. Marriage is just the icing, and with or without the icing, a cake is still beautiful. So decentering marriage is not a trend. It's not anti-men. You should want men. That's okay. It's not anti-men. It's not something that is just out there, or women are just doing rubbish. It's actually really biblical. Matthew 6:33 says to seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will be added unto you. It didn't say seek ye first marriage. It didn't say seek ye first marriage. It says seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will be added unto you, right? So basically, you have to seek first God's kingdom, and marriage will be an addition. Dear single Christian girl, you are not wrong for wanting marriage. You are not wrong for praying about it. You are not wrong for wanting to have your own person. But you are too called, too gifted, and too loved by God to make it the whole story of your life. Let God be the center. Let purpose be your pursuit. Let marriage be the blessing that joins a life that is already being lived, not the starting gun of a life that's been waiting. That's my prayer for you. That's all I want for you. If this episode spoke to you, if it rebuked you, if it challenged you, do well to send it to your friends. Share it with your sisters. Share it with your Christian girlies. Send it in that group chat. You know the group chat I'm talking about. Or you can make a screenshot of this and post on your IG story and tag Dear Single Christian Girl. I'll be reposting every single person that tags us. And if you have any questions you want to ask, I'm going to leave a link below in the description that says ask a question, because the last episodes of every month are going to be episodes that are answering questions. We already have some questions in the bank that some of you sent, and definitely send your questions. Keep sending your question. No question is too simple. No question is stupid. No question is anything, your question or your dilemma, we're going to address it. And trust, we don't know it's you, it's anonymous, but we're definitely going to answer your question here. Again, please feel free to follow us on Instagram at Dear Single Christian Girl, and you can also follow me at I am Kelly B on Instagram. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And again, remember that we are giving virtual hugs in every episode to people that are commenting. Like you saw, there was a virtual hug in today's episode, right? To someone. So you might be the next person to receive a virtual hug. Just put a comment below with where you're watching from and the best thing or the one thing that stood out to you most in this episode, and then you probably be the one I'll give a virtual hug to next time. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and keep thriving, and remember that I love you. Bye.